Hey guys, thanks for jumping on with us for this November 15th London Open session. I am going to get started here pretty much right now. I'm just finishing reading a real quick article here, so if you give me 30 seconds, I will be right with you. Alright, let's get rolling. Sorry about the delay. How is my video output? It's telling me I'm getting a red signal here, so if it's terrible, let me know. And if it's good to go, don't worry about it. We'll just get moving. So, perfect. Hope you guys had a great week. It's been an interesting week on the markets, let me tell you. So I had, I don't know if anybody caught it, I had done a market review video for my weekly forecast on Sunday, and I was looking for price to jam higher. It did run higher. I was hoping it was going to get in this blue shaded area that I've got here, which basically would just sort of be a run over these areas in here, and I'll zoom in on this area in a second. And I wanted to see continuation up into this area here. So we had gapped open to start the Monday, and I was looking for price to run down, fill this tiny little gap in here, gain some support, whether it be at somewhere down here. I really wasn't looking for a deep retracement, and then a quick run higher, and then getting up into this level here to finish off the week. As you can see, that's not happening. So readjust and go from there. Now, I haven't been doing a lot this week. I've been pretty patient, and I just want to see here. I believe the high on the candle on, let me just go over here. I should have got this before. High on this candle on this feed comes in at 97.51, and the high over here comes in at 97.26. So we got this one. That can't be right though. Maybe it's this high here. Let me just double check that number again. 97. Come on. It's not going to give it to me. Come on. Sometimes MT4, I'll tell you. 97.51 is the high on this candle. Excuse me. So let's just drop that on there. 97.51. I just want to see in terms of the stops. That's really all I'm driving at here. So this candle here came in, the high was 97.45. This candle here, the high of this candle, this was a gap up, 97.67. So it got just above this high candle right here by 2 pips, but we've yet to fail to break this guy here. But 2 pips is 2 pips, and that's typically enough sometimes on some big movements. So I'm not expecting them to come ripping back up here this week. If they do, great, but I think that would be a pretty big stretch from current location. Now, I was watching price earlier to see sort of how deep the retracements could be. I've got a couple levels marked out here. Retracement going down, first level being right here at this old candle high from last Thursday, which comes in at 96.56 on this feed. Of course, you'll have to do your own research and make sure it's coming in on yours at the same level or different. So 96.56 could be an area, and we did see price come down on Wednesday with all of that, I believe it was CPI news that came out yesterday. You can see the whipsaw that happened there, and price came right down and touched off of the open of that candle there and rejected and closed up quite a bit higher. Good sign, right? Well, apparently they didn't think that was enough, and now they're coming back down here again. This is Thursday's candle, and they're coming back down again here. So if they go any deeper, so I put 96.70, which was basically the close of this candle here. We're obviously into that right now. Price is at 96.68 at the time of this live event. And so it seems like they want to get some more down into here. So what I'm looking for specifically is whether they want to run this low from Wednesday. So what they could have done here as a weekly market profile of a high created in on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday finishing the week lower, and then Friday just kind of coming off. So the weekly range could look something like this. So we put in the open here. It spiked up on Monday, rejected instantaneously. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and who knows, maybe the low comes in on Thursday, I don't know, somewhere in around here or here, wherever, and then it will probably on Friday, it'll retrace a little bit, as it normally does, by a few percent, and then finish out the day somewhere in around like this here. So I'm assuming that's sort of the weekly profile that we're in. Typically when you have a down day Tuesday, Wednesday, and the start of a down day on Thursday, you typically don't get huge reversals. So what would negate this fact is if we started trading above the open of today. If it does that, then who knows, maybe it'll push up Thursday and Friday, and Wednesday actually did create the low. So far Wednesday is the low right now, and until that's breached, that'll remain the same. And if it does not get breached under here again, price could come down and tag off of that level again. But if they do, the likelihood of them running all the way back up is pretty unlikely. I'm kind of inclined to believe that they're going to probably bring price back into this area right in here and rebalance it. It's just sort of what my thoughts are so far right now going into London Open here on Thursday. Again, I could be wrong. I'll drill down to the 1 hour chart so you can kind of see this. Put the day dividers on and give you the more accurate representation. So as you can see, Monday started out over here, ran up. Monday started up right here, ran up. Tuesday got smacked back down. Wednesday came back down, and now Thursday so far we're opening lower. Again, if this low gets run, the likelihood of them reversing from here and running higher is pretty slim this week. So just keep an eye on that. And I would imagine if they do take this low, then they will come in here and they'll probably want to gain, look at picking some support up at the old body highs at 96.20. 96.25, somewhere in and around there, which is why I've got that 96.25 marked out on the chart right here. That could be their ultimate target on the week. Any lower than that, we're getting pretty nervous then. We may see price start to leak and potentially run lower than here. I'm not thinking that we're going to see that as an option on the table this week. or next week. I think if they were going to run it lower, they would have had their opportunity here, and they would have pushed price down again, because there are two relatively equal lows under here that I've got marked out, that they didn't bother to come down and rebalance. So I'm kind of thinking here that you know, if they do come down, this is going to be the high. But like what I'm saying here is I think they're going to come up into this blue shaded area before they take out this swing low. So if they do take out this swing low, chances are that they're going to probably want to take out this low. And if they take out that low here, then they may want to come all the way down under here. And if they get all the way down under here, then we're going to be re-challenging this consolidation level again, and that's not going to bode very well for the bulls for dollar. So anyway, without having to make this too long of a speech, I think if we lose this low here, we'll probably look for price to come and rebalance down to the 96.25. So what that means is we could pick up longs on the other foreign currency pairs, Euro USD, pound dollar, you know, Aussie USD, and all of them. So that's sort of my thoughts. Obviously, US CAD, anything with the US dollar is the front currency pair in the basket. You're going to get the same move as what the US dollar is doing. So United States dollar, Japanese yen, USD, CAD, you know, things like that, just off the top of my head, those will run in tandem with the US dollar. So hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, I'll be watching this right here. If we lose this low, I'm expecting it to finish down in here. So what I'll do is I'll jump over to the euro, and I believe that's sort of what's on tap here. I think if we were going to create a Wednesday low reversal pattern, it probably wouldn't have done it so late in the day. It would have done it probably more so midday, and we would have seen a reversal. But you can see price just really ugly trading. I mean, it ran up, ran down, ran up, ran down. And you'll see on the euro and the cable here, just very, very inconducive to trading. Not a great day to be on the markets today. But the one thing I want to point out, we do have some relative equal highs up here that I think they could want to come back up for. So by no means do I think that this is the high here. I think they're just going to come down. They're going to rebalance a little bit lower, and then we're going to make that final push up towards the end of November and into December. And I think we're going to get into this blue shaded area here, which would mean we'd be taking out these old highs in here. And then from there, you know, December, it could chop sideways, it could run down, it could run up, I don't know. But we'll just kind of get through the next couple of weeks here. So that's sort of what my thoughts are. So like I say, I'll be watching this level right here and seeing if we have any willingness to come lower, and go from there. Now, there is a little area in here where we could see support. This candle attempted to get down into it here, and the lows of this actually come in and touch off from this 15-minute candle high right here. So what am I trying to say here? Basically, if they're going to go lower, they're probably going to continue to go lower from here. They might retrace it up just slightly and then roll it over. So something kind of like this. Whoops. Sorry. And then roll it over from there if they do want to retrace it all. But just keep an eye on this. If they don't want to take out this low here, then they may not want to run for this guy, and this could be the low of the day, and they could run it up. So I still am bullish US dollar, but like I say, it's just with this type of trading action going on here, I'm a little less bullish until it wants to actually complete a balanced price range, and I think the balanced price range is honestly a little bit lower than where we're currently at right now. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, flipping over the euro. So let's get into this here. Euro USD, again, I was looking for price to really sell off. So price was sitting right here when I did that pre-recorded video on Sunday, obviously. Monday was opening up, and we saw them smash down. And these were those lows that I was talking about here. We came in 1, 2, 3 lows, and then they finally smashed it down on Monday. And I've been doing a pretty damn good job at reversing price going higher. So A couple of levels to watch for. I'm looking sort of right in around here. If price wants to have any willingness to get any higher, I would probably say that the 113.90 level to 11400 big figure could be on the menu for this week. And that would be not too far away, about 70 pips from current location. But again, the daily candle's starting out pretty strong. So if we lose this high, same type of thing as the US dollar, but in reverse, obviously. If we lose this low from Wednesday, if we lose this high from Wednesday, then I would expect them to push up into there. Now, there's one tiny little area at 113. Watch this level right here. I'll make sure I got the right level. Yeah. Watch that level right there. Could offer some sensitivity. Doubtful, and it's not too far away. We're only about 20 pips away from that right now. Again, if they take this high out, it's doubtful that this would offer any sensitivity, but it is certainly possible. I think, though, however, I think we're going to be trading up to this level right up here, the 11400 level. Yeah, and maybe even a little bit higher to finish off the weekend, and we'll probably rebalance somewhere down around here. So that's my initial thoughts. If we fail to get above this high here, then they'll probably look at running it lower or even just chopping it sideways. Looking at the news events for the rest of the week, I'll just bring that up real quick. 12th to the 19th. Yeah, that's right. So here we are all the way down on Thursday. We've got a couple of high-impact news events coming in. We've got core retail sales for the U.S. dollar, retail sales, Philly Fed manufacturing, FOMC members speaking, midday New York, crude oil inventories. This was because of the holiday, the bank holiday. They elected to do the crude oil inventory numbers on Thursday. And then we got Fed Chair Powell speaking. Now, just keep in mind, Fed Chair Powell spoke Wednesday and pushed the markets around quite a bit. Definitely did not behave the way that I had anticipated them doing. So just keep in mind, he's talking, and it's later New York Open. Just right before London close, actually. So just bear that in mind. We may not be done seeing the erratic price action here. But it could move the markets. So we've got some high-impact news events on cable and high-impact news events on U.S. dollar. So we should have a pretty volatile session going into, and I don't mean volatile as in it's going to whipsaw, but I mean it could definitely take out a couple of pretty big ranges here. So just keep that in mind when you're trading. I would highly recommend you dial back your leverage and just trade very conservatively, or don't trade at all. Wait until next week. That's probably even better. I have not done a lot of trading this week. I have been elected to sit on the sidelines. I put in one pending order in on cable, which I'll show you in a minute. That came within 5 pips of being executed, and I would have been done for the week had it have executed. I would have closed it, made 90 pips, and would have been done. But I'll show you that here in a minute. So anyway, all signs right now are pointing to this thing continuing to push up. These two rejection candles right here, pretty good indicator that this is going to be the low for the week that's been set. Any lower than that, and again, there's another level of consolidation here that mimics what the US dollar did, and I'm expecting them to punch down under here. So I can even just same type of thing. I'll just put this in here. That would be the target for the end of November, which if ideally speaking, if we could get a run up this week to 11400 and then get a short off going into next week, if that's what price decides it wants to do and continue to run lower, we could get a nice 300 pip plus run to finish off the month, which wouldn't be too shabby to close off the month. So we'll be watching for that one. I'll let you know if I see anything ulterior to that, and we'll go from there. So that's the Euro USD. Again, I'm not rushing anything. If anything, I might look to see if we get a rebalance a little bit lower. I'm going to drop down to a 15. So same type of thing as I mentioned on the US dollar. If we do see price want to run a bit lower from current location, I'd look to see maybe if it wants to rebalance just underneath this low right here. And then I would hope to see some support here. Basically, what I would do is, again, see what the willingness to come down would be. Not far away, where it's only about 10, 12 pips from current location. I would basically not want to see price go any lower than this consolidation level here. If it does, then it could want to stretch lower. But I'd maybe look at picking up a very, very small long position here and see if we couldn't target that 1400 level up here, 1400 up there. So kind of what I'm thinking off the initial observations on what London Open's doing. So I'd like to see their willingness and see how deep they want to retrace, if they do at all. If price fails to get through this tiny little block of price action right here, then you can pretty much get long anywhere in here and ride it up. But I would have, like I say, I would have your stop pretty much just, I wouldn't necessarily go right under here, but I would say maybe right under here would probably be a good area, or even, I wouldn't even go that low, but let's say, I mean, that's only a 30 pip stop. If you did get a fill there, down to 120.90. I'd say your stop would be in anywhere between 129.90 and 113.10. Yeah, about there. So anywhere, put your stop anywhere between here and, whoops, not sure what happened there. I would put your stop anywhere between here and here, basically. To be honest with you, and me personally, I'd be watching this. If I got a fill down here, I would not be holding out. If price came down to this 113.10, I'd probably be out. I wouldn't really sit through any drawdown just to see if they want to reverse it. I'd just wait, and then I'd get in later if they wanted to reverse it. But yeah, I don't hold it past this consolidation area. That's kind of my advice. And the only reason I'm thinking that is just because of price action on the week. Again, Monday's got, Monday came down and really smashed in the weekly low right off the hop. Like, it was literally the last candle of the day created the low of Monday, and then price traded up nicely on Tuesday. And then I was expecting a deeper retracement on Wednesday, and Wednesday was a bit of a gong show. It just sort of came down, ran up, came down, ran up, came down. So they were doing just stop hunting on Wednesday, yesterday's trading. That's all that is. And those are the days where you get beat up really bad. So unless you were able to figure out that this was going to be the low here, or that was going to be the high there on the day, you probably should have elected to stay out of the markets. And I actually, like I say, I got a pending order here that I'll show you here in a minute, but it just about got filled from yesterday, and I'll show you my idea on it. And it would have came perfect, but it missed it by 5 pips, so it is what it is. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Euro. If you guys got any questions, I got the chat up here. I'm trying to make this as interactive as possible, so if you got any feedback, comments, questions, or anything in between, other than hate, throw it up in the comment section there, and I'll respond to you. Okay, flipping over to the pound dollar. So, pound, you can see here, I had a limit order, a sell limit order in. I'm going to cancel it here in a minute. Well, I might not. I'm actually debating on it. But I had a sell limit order at an area of inefficiency just above market price. So I put this in, I believe it was on Tuesday, thinking that Monday would have came down, Tuesday would have run up, given us the high, and then ripped back down Wednesday, Thursday, and finished out Friday. We didn't quite get that. So I'm thinking this thing's probably going to keep going higher, and if we get above here, I'm above my entry by any more than about, let's say, entry was 130.75. 130, yeah, I'd give it maybe 25 pips at the most on the high end, and I'd be out. If it goes any higher than that, then we may want to take out this short-term high up here. That could be the target on the day, or sorry, on the week. So we'll watch for that one. I'm hoping that this level will offer some sort of resistance, and we'll start to see price roll over. And then that's what I mean is maybe next week you get into a good trade, because the cable still is not taken out. We've got two relatively equal lows down here that I think are still on target, and I think we could be getting under this low here. So we'll see. But the cable has been a little more unpredictable than the euro and what the US dollar is doing. So I haven't done a lot of cable trading. And I'll show you this trade here that I put in. I didn't do any. I might have got one cable trade in last week. I think I did for 60 pips or something like that. It was a decent trade, but I haven't done a whole lot of cable trading. One trade here, two trades there. That's about it. Just because look how messy this is. I mean, price opened up on Monday, ran down, created the low of the week, ran up, ran back down again. Tuesday and Tuesday was just a straight shot up out of nowhere. Price traded back down again, deep retracements, only to have a failure swing for it to go lower into Wednesday. Wednesday was a gigantic mess in here. This is an absolute perfect example of stop hunting. All they're doing is taking traders out who are long up here, who are long down here and short up here, and they're just running their stops, taking liquidity, and then they finish pretty much right in the middle of the day. And then now, starting Wednesday, we're starting to make that run back up here again. So as you can see, this second last candle of the day, its high came in at 130.70, I believe it was. And yeah, you can see it right there, 130.70, and my limit order was 130.75. So had it have tagged that, I would have had a nice 90 pip run down. And that would have been, I would have closed my position at the end of the day, and I wouldn't have been trading anymore. But as it sits, it didn't quite get it. So anyway, I think we could see higher continuation to the upside, especially if we see the US dollar really start to make its way down to the 96.25, 96.30 level. If we lose this low here, then again, the cable could really start to make a push, and we could start to trade higher up into here. So it's a pretty small, window of opportunity. So I think I'm going to elect to leave it and see what happens. I'm not going to let it run any higher than see this little consolidation area right here. I'm not going to let price run any higher than right here, basically. That's pretty much going to be my line in the sand if we get continuation to the upside. Really, this blue line right here at 130.85. So it's really, I'm only going to give it about a 10 pip swing. But if I see some hesitation, I might let it go to 131.05. Again, keep it pretty tight, and I may just elect to scalp it as well too. If we get any resistance, it could come and slamming back down, into the highs of Tuesday's trading here. And if that's the case, that would basically just kind of give me 40, 50 pips on the day, and I'd be done. So that's really all I'm looking for. Again, not very high probable. I don't like this a lot. I'm going to watch price, see what happens. If it really starts aggressively running in there and I don't see anything like this wick starting to occur after it hits it, then I'll probably just elect to, if I don't see immediate retracement, basically is what I'm saying. So price comes up, it stabs into it, and if it just sits there and it doesn't want to go anywhere and it's kind of looking aggressive, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it before where you just know price is going to hit somewhere just by the pulses that it moves almost. It's like a living heartbeat almost. And you can see the stronger it's pulsating to a certain direction, the more likelihood it is of it going into that direction that you want it to go, or alternatively that you don't want it to go into your stop. But I'll be watching for that. If I see a big aggressive push up in here, I want to see immediate reactions like this right here, and price wicking and wanting to run back down. If I don't see that, I'll probably collapse it within a 10 pip margin of error and be done with it. 10 pips is absolutely nothing. Had a great trade on S&P today, and I'll show you that here in a minute. And that was, I mean, that pretty much made my week. So that's pretty much about it about cable. I don't, I think she's probably going to push up pretty good, and I don't know, if we don't start seeing some resistance in this area, then I'm going to give up hope on cable, because it's just kind of a mess. Like, it's just not really reacting the way I would have hoped it to. And the main reason, I believe, is just because of Euro GBP. Look at the mess in here. Like, it's just up, it's down, it's sideways, it's dojis, it's big, long, wicking candles. It's all over the place. And if you see down in here, it's interesting. I actually had this on my chart for a while, and price stabbed right down in there on Monday, or sorry, on Tuesday's trading. So pretty interesting. Anyway, that's Euro GBP. I don't know where this thing's going to go. I would hope it would run higher. If this thing does start running higher out of the gate from here, and we start to get above this high, then that could start to lead to some weakness on the pound dollar, and we could start to then see price come down and start to take out this swing low and this swing low, and get down underneath this block of price action right in here, as I was hoping. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Again, US dollar looking very, very bullish. Euro USD looking very, very bearish. Pound dollar, yes, consolidating sideways. A lot of stuff with Brexit and some political stuff going on over there. So this stuff is really, you know, kind of anyone's guess as to what they're going to do. If they decide to finally push Brexit through, and the politicians over there can actually do what they said they were going to do and take advantage of the referendum that they had, then you may see price actually start to sell off. This was the result of the vote of Brexit right here. And now you can see we've completely encapsulated that again, rebalanced price lower. So with the strength of the US dollar, this should be running lower in tandem. But it's not. So again, it's sort of anybody's guess. But you look at as well too, I'm not going to talk about this much longer. I'm just kind of job owning because I'm waiting for setups to happen. But look at the consolidation in here, and look at the corresponding Jesus. That's just what I need to do, is move my move my limit order. And then you look at the same consolidation in here, right? So it's same level. So it's kind of no wonder that they're taking their time in here, especially after this big rundown that they had. So I know it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with cable. We'll have to wait and see. Not 100% sure yet. So we'll see. We'll see when we see. So, anyways, that's cable. If you want me to talk about anything specific, throw it up in the chat here on the YouTube chat. I've got that open here to my left, so I can have a look at that. I'm going to move on. I wanted to show you US CAD today. This thing here, I called out. If you guys are a member of our program, f45trading.com, down here, you'll have access, obviously, to our Telegram channel. And I talked about this. Look at these lows right here. I actually posted a chart. I said, have a look at these lows right here. Those lows are going to get run. And this was on Wednesday, mid-morning. I think I said that, mid-morning New York Open. So I think it was around, I'm not too sure. I think price was trading right in around here when I posted the chart. I said, this is where all the stops are. Price is going to run down underneath these guys. And I wanted to actually see it tag up kind of right into this area in here, about the 132.10 level is sort of what I was looking for. That's exactly what it did. Price ran down. So again, I posted that chart right about in here. Price ran down once, hesitated, came back, rebalanced, and then smashed price down right onto that 132.10 level. And then look at what happened after that. They just ran price right above the most recent swing high by literally, I bet you it was 1 pip it got it by. Let me just get that. Come on. And these labels never come up when I want them to. High 132.63. High 130. Oh, I just had it. I'm on. Yeah, anyway, 132.63.0. And this was 63.1. So interesting. They just got it by 0.1 of a pip. And then look what they did with this thing. They just smashed it all the way back down. So interesting trading. Again, very, very ugly trading. But had you have gone in, I didn't take a trade on CAD, but had you gone in and taken that signal that I sent out at the sweep down at 132.10, that would have been a nice 50 pip run back up to that equal high there. So that was what was on tap. Very, very ugly trading, so I wouldn't have recommended that. But that's just, again, if you're not part of our chat room, you should have a look at it, because it's send out some stuff like that intraday, and you can take advantage of it, and it'll net you some pretty good pips. Anyways, that's US CAD. I think long-term US CAD, obviously, this is going to follow suit to what the US dollar is doing. However, you can see we are in a big consolidation period. And the other one that's consolidating as well, too, is UJ. If there's any UJ traders out there, you can see the block of price action in here until just Wednesday, just recently. The past 4 days, basically, was trading straight sideways. And actually, you could probably even include it into the following week as well, too. Just straight sideways, really not picking a direction. US dollar finally fell off. Obviously, it started falling off on Tuesday and Wednesday. And UJ actually took up until Wednesday late afternoon before it started to finally fall off as well, too. So kind of interesting there. But nonetheless, US CAD, UJ, not going to do anything with them yet until the US dollar finally makes its low. And then I think we can start to target prices higher. This is one of my first targets on US CAD, 132. 90, well, the highs here, and my target would actually be 133 as an even figure, which would be a sweep of the stops by about 10 pips above this high here. That's my first target, and then ultimately, I'd love it if they could get up to 134 before the end of the month. Not too far of a stretch. I mean, we're only talking about 180, 170 pips or so from current location. So, I mean, the US CAD can do that in no time flat. I mean, last week's trading, we set that low. I mean, that's a 350 pip range just last week alone. Or sorry, that was just last month alone. So I believe we could see that coming into, we're only at 200 pips right now. So this could easily stretch up that next, or 300 pips to close off the month. And that'd be the same average monthly trading range as what the US CAD seems to be putting in. So well within the range. We're about halfway there. I think we got a nice little push up to continue off, and away we go. So that's sort of what I'm looking at in US CAD, but again, it's consolidating, going straight sideways for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We're going to have to wait and see what the US dollar wants to do. If they want to further drop down here, they could consolidate CAD sideways until it finally makes up its mind. US dollar finally reverses, and then we'll see that push up into the Canadian dollar. But you can see here just a lot of sideways price action. So that's US CAD, that's UJ. Not going to talk about Aussie. Not a big fan of Aussie lately, just because the price, this isn't great trading in here. Price is really just sort of sitting there. And crude oil. Look at this sell-off on crude oil. So this has been the hot topic lately. There's a lot of people in analysis going on about crude oil. Where's the low going to come in? How bad is it going to get? What's going to happen? Well, if you notice, I did some commentary here. I think it was last week. So price had come in, and we had just failed to take out this low here. And I did a live session last Tuesday or Thursday. I can't remember. I think it was Tuesday. I don't think I did a session last Thursday. Last Tuesday, which would have been the 6th. So November 6th. So price November 6th. was this candle right here. So at that point in time, we just took out the low that day. So when I did the commentary, they hadn't taken out the low yet. It was on its way down. And I said, basically, if we lose this low here is going to get taken out. I knew that for certain. And I said, if we come down, more than likely price is going to come down and hit these lows under here. And I said, if we lose this low here, and price really wants to make a surge down here, then chances are we're going to want to come down and rebalance in at this level underneath this consolidation area in here, and potentially a low coming and setting in for the month into 52. So crude oil is bearish, very, very bearish seasonally until the middle of December. So I'm not expecting this trend to stop until right here. See, I got the line right there, December 13th. Now, they could sit here and continue to move this sideways. They could move it up for sure. They could do some retracement, which I think is long overdue. But I think ultimately they could come down and slam into this $52 mark. And we're well on our way now. Price, honestly, just on Tuesday got down to $54.70. So we're only about $2.70 off. And if you think about that, I mean, this day right here on Tuesday, this was a $4 day, sorry. That's $4 in price action in one day. So it could easily, if they want to get down to this level, this 52 level here, they could easily do that in one day, smash that down, and that would be my target completed. But I'm not expecting any bullish activity on the on crude oil until this low gets hit in here. So I want to see price rebalance in this range in here, and that would basically just mean that these lows under here are swept, and away we go. So that would basically just take us right into this small consolidation one. You see the confluence in here, where as prices spent a lot of time in here, in here, 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 in here, and in here. So I think that 52 level's got a pretty high level of draw on it, and there's some confluence there, and I believe that's where they're going to rebalance price on crude oil on the downside. So I'm not expecting them to step behind it and pushing the market up until probably next year. You know, December trading is sloppy at best. A lot of big money's in holiday mode. So price typically consolidates until January, and I wouldn't be looking at anything. And right now, the talk of the town is, well, they were flooding the market. They increase production. OPEC is ridiculous. They increase it. They decrease it. They flood the market. They dry it up. The surplus. I mean, it's all over the map with these guys. And I think OPEC is ridiculous, but you know, it is what it is. It's neither here nor there. But they are just now starting. So they have a meeting December 6th. I'm just going to verify that date. I believe, yeah, it's December 6th. They're going to get together and they're going to say, okay, are we going to curb production? And the talk of the town is, yes, they are going to start cutting production so they can start to boost the price of this back up. Donald Trump has come in and saying the price of crude oil is way too expensive and he wants it reduced. And I don't necessarily know that. I mean, he obviously influences the Middle East quite heavily, so that could have been the reason behind it. I personally think that they could have rebalanced price and we would have been fine right around the $60 barrel mark. I don't want to see it go that much lower, and you can see we declined another $6 on top of that. So didn't really like seeing that, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm not going to be bullish on this until we get into the new year. I do think there's going to be some continued downside on it. And they had a nice uptick on Wednesday's trading, a nice retracement. So they could even come up and trade back to this old candle low right here from Monday. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Yeah, sorry, Monday's low there. They could want to come and trade back up to that, and that comes in at 58.60. We could see that. and they could just come in, hit that, and then run lower again from there without any problems. They could sit and elect to just sit sideways for the next little while. And you look at this as well too. Look at the ranges that it's put in. So you see these big extended ranges, and then you get small ranges, and you get these big extended ranges, and then you get small ranges. Big range, small range, big range, small range, big range, small range, big range. This is the biggest decline in crude oil since this decline in 2014. Really. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's this big decline here from 2015 all the way down to the lows in 2016. That was not pretty, obviously. But this is the biggest, steepest decline in the last, since 2016, 2015. So it's pretty crazy. So I don't think they're going to get ridiculous. I don't think we're going to go down to the 40s or anything like that. I'm pretty sure these levels over here in price will hold price up. And hopefully we'll bounce from there. But going forward for the rest of November into December and even into January, I think we'll probably bounce somewhere between this 58.60 level and 52. Which there's lots of tradable opportunities there. If price gets into a consolidation pattern where it starts, doing this, I mean, all you got to do is just buy the lows and sell the highs at the consolidation level. I mean, that's, pretty easy trading for the most part. You get $1 on the day and call it a day. And you just kind of get in and scalp for $1 and away you go. I mean, you can make a lot of, great trades doing that. But again, I just wouldn't expect big ranges is really all I'm saying. After this big long range that came down, I think we'll sort of die out about the 52 level, and then price will chop sideways until the new year. So pretty sure that's clear to you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll show you this real quick. You can disregard this. I was just doing some explaining to somebody earlier. I forgot to take all this off my chart. I'll show you this quick trade here. Had a nice little run. Come on. A nice little run on S&P. I managed to... I'm on the 4 hour. Let me go down to a 15. Managed to grab... I'm on... Holy Jesus. Okay. So price had come in here. It had taken out the high of the day and rejected. And I was looking to see the momentum down here when it came back into this consolidation area in here to see if it was going to garner any support. It had a real quick 1-2 rejection and then smashed into it. And then as soon as it smashed into this, I got short right in around this candle here. This candle closed. This one opened here, and I got short just under this high right here. And my target was, well, I knew it was going to run out this low here. And I was thinking about taking some off here, but I elected to hold it, and I'm kind of glad I did, because there is another low back in here, right here. This low right here. And that was the one that I was waiting on. That was my target, just a little bit below that one. Let me zoom back in here. And that price line comes in. Come on. Yeah, 26.99. I got out literally at 26.99 even. And that was just basically just one of the low. Price came down, smashed through it a little bit more. But great trade on S&P today. And... picked up about 30 ticks. Excuse me. So, just great reaction. Just kind of a real quick scalp at the end of the day. I didn't do anything. I had my cable trade sitting there all day long. I was waiting for it to push up into early trading on Wednesday, grab my limit order, and start running down. And it just did this ugly trading all day long. So I didn't have a trade of the day until that I saw that S&P trade, and it was later on in the day as well too. It was I think just before New York lunch time, right around 11 o'clock New York time, I think, when I saw that got in, grabbed it, and away it went. So anyway, that's that. I don't have a whole lot else for you guys here right now. I will talk a little bit more about commodities on the weekend in terms of copper, cocoa, coffee, cotton, OJ. OJ is interesting, to say the least. We're coming down to an area of interest, so I want to see what price does basically to finish off the week and where it's at right now. I want to see if there's any rejection at this level, or if they going to want to come down and run this low under this price swing right here. We will see, because going into a bullish season for orange juice, so I'm kind of thinking the low could start to be put in. Couple of thoughts on this one. I'll share you with that on the weekend. I'll do up a video and I'll post that one to our members. So if you're not a member, too bad, so sad. Go to f45trading.com, sign up, and you'll get that video. I'm not going to do that for free, because I think we've got some opportunities here. So anyway, that and there's a couple other ones. Look at Nat Gas, by the way. Just if you guys have never looked at Nat Gas, have a look at this. Man, look at what they're doing. They are smashing this market out of the park. This chart doesn't go back any further. This is still low. $4 on Nat Gas is still low when you consider the highs back about 4 years ago. 3 years ago were up in the $16 range. So it's literally a quarter of the price of what it could get up to. So there's still a long ways to go on Nat Gas, but I'm not buying here. I want to see if they want to cool their jets a little bit and come back down, rebalance, and then we could maybe look at getting in some longs going forward from there. No rush on this one. There's lots of time to figure it out, but that's just something else I'm looking at. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Let me do a final look at US dollar. What are we doing here? Making a nice steady push up here. So I want to see if they have any willingness to get through this level in price here. And if they get through that, then my next level I'm going to be looking for to see if they want to get through this level in price. And if they want to get through there, then I'll be looking for them to run those two equal highs up here for going into Thursday. Don't see it happening, but crazier things have happened. I think we're going to probably see more than likely further continued downside action if we lose this low. You know, the other alternative too is just they sit and walk price sideways for the rest of the week too. So next week, if I am not mistaken, just so you guys are aware, I believe it is U.S. Thanksgiving. I'm not from the U.S. 2018. I'm just going to get a date for you. Oh, I apologize. Thursday. Wait. When is? Let me try this again. Oh, Thursday, November 22nd. Going into Thanksgiving holiday this weekend. So, you know, there's a really good chance. I'm actually glad I mentioned that, guys, because I didn't even look at that. Next week is going to be a short week of trading. So get it all in this week, because next week I think you're probably going to want to be done trading by Monday, Tuesday at the very, very latest. Because I know they take basically a 4-day weekend. They take Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they won't fire back up until the 26th. So just keep that in mind when you're trading next week. It's going to be a little bit choppy with the U.S. going into Thanksgiving holidays. So, but I'll talk about that next week, and we'll go from there. I hope you guys have a good day trading Thursday. I hope I helped you out a little bit. A couple of options there that I see. We might see a push up on Euro. If I don't see an immediate reaction on cable, then I'm going to get rid of this idea here at this level. I'll be watching that. I may not even hold out for that, so I wouldn't advise what I'm thinking about doing here, but you know, you can use that at your own risk. And then crude oil, you know, again, I like how we're seeing some support in here right now. So I'd like to see them run up and see if we can't rebalance at the 58 level. 58.60, maybe 58.40 type of thing. that would be nice. If we lose this low on the day, though, that's probably not going to happen. We'll probably start stabbing down to that 52 level. But I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of retracement. Just me personally, I'd kind of like to see them hold this low. I would tolerate one quick rejection candle down, wick, and then a real quick movement back higher, and then I'd be looking at getting in. As soon as we saw a stop run on this little consolidation area right here, or even the highs here, I'd pretty much be out. I wouldn't be looking to do anything else. I'd just be scalping crude kind of from here on out. But don't go crazy bullish, because it's bearish, and so anything higher, if price does get up into there, I would not be looking for it to get any higher than here, and I'd be looking for it to probably fall off from there and run lower. So, that's just kind of my thoughts on crude oil. But in terms of setups, there's not a whole ton this week, unfortunately, just because price has just been so erratic. Trading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday especially, and so anyway, that's that, guys. I hope you have a great Thursday, and I'll be back with a recorded video for you on the weekend. Dave will be in, of course, on Friday morning to trade the S&P and gold markets for you. And until then, we'll leave it with you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. Do me a favor, give me a thumbs up in this video if it was any help to you. Leave a comment, positive if you could. That would be very, very helpful as well too. Tell a friend, share this out, and visit F45 Trading if you haven't already, and sign up if you'd like to. So anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys.